get Smiley, you know, obviously my right hand, Marco, we got China, you know, and I really don't believe that there's a next costume team, construction team, that's better than us, period, hands down. And that's in any facet. We've won, I mean, we've won in every single category. And like I said, you know, if talks continue, then we'd have to put the proof in the pudding and show these fellas them really how to do costume. You know? What you mean? You know, we don't get caught up in all of the Junkanoo conversations. You know, we kind of background people, and most people don't even know how we look. But I'm gonna tell you, if we were to come back into that type of Junkanoo, I think we'll go on a streak again, eh?
Just bring something different to the table.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where our team separates itself, because we're two like minds but two different spirits.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you're able to put two heads together and you get three instead of two. And so I think that's where...
And the more the heads, the better, eh?
And the more heads,
well,
the better,
see,
yeah.
the thing about this, me starting this behind the scene costuming, is to allow the Junkanooers and the world at large to see the names and to put the names to the faces, and to allow persons to see who does most of that extraordinary work that we see on Bay Street. Because a lot of times you will hear Bats, you don't know who's Bats.
No.
You don't know who's Marco or Big Six.
And they still don't know.
I still don't know. But, you know, from this video, I guess they'll know. But
No, Shami, man, I didn't cut this all off. I look young again. I didn't look like this because I on vacation, and you know, it's still the kind of time it's I ain't shaving. But if I cut this off, they wouldn't even recognize who I am.
Yeah, but the name rings in the Junkanoo world.
Yeah, but they don't know us.
All right.
We don't bother much.
Right.
You know, we don't bother much.
So in costume, what do you think the direction of costuming is now going in Junkanoo?
I think to be honest, I've heard some of the conversation based around they should eliminate the lead costume, they should do this, they should do that. I always thought that when we made the jump from lifting the costumes to wheels, that was an innovation. I think the costumes are, to be quite honest with you, I think most of them are kind of lackluster since I think we've come out. You don't want to mash anybody con, but we hear some of the fellas that talk with innovation and all that other stuff, but I don't see it.
Yeah, and I think
I don't see it.
I think the step down category is actually taken over and has actually a lot more interest and
More
creativity and more appeal.
Yeah, more appeal.
And I think some of that is due to the fact that you have more of the step downs being done in the groups versus the one that's actually required within the Junkanoo groups. And so some groups may have 3, 4, 5 step downs. And so that category is actually more competitive. And so when you take that aspect of it and compare it to the lead costume, I think that within itself creates a greater dynamic and a more interesting dynamic. Unfortunately, the prize money isn't what it should be and what it ought to be. But I think, you know, Junkanoo itself, you never get what you want to get from a financial standpoint. So a lot of us still are only just doing it for the love, even though we're not directly involved.
We ain't doing that no more.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I mean, I can only hope that for some reason in the next, hopefully this matters with the Valley Boys group could effectively cause Junkanooers to stop, pause, analyze, recalibrate, and rethink the way we do Junkanoo. I think that's what's kept us out. We just don't see the future.
And Junkanoo needs to evolve and it needs to change. And I think regardless of what happens within the Valley group, I think it needs to be embraced, because the more groups and the new groups that can be introduced.
Good ones too.
Yeah, the good ones.
The good ones.
I think it only has a better quality for the parades. I mean, Junkanoo's not changed really in the last 20 to 30 years if you look at the actual dynamics. There are little small things that have been tinkered, but the parades itself are still essentially the same. And so I think Junkanoo has to grow where it becomes an industry, becomes something that can be marketed, something that draws more people to our country, and at the same time draw more Bahamians to our country, because we have a lot of young persons who don't even come to Junkanoo.
Yeah.
A lot of families who don't come to Junkanoo. So if we can get that spirit back and get Bay Street flocked again with Bahamians and foreigners, I think that sends a good sign for the future for our country and for the culture.
Yeah. I told these guys the other night, I was home at my mother's house, and this young kid was like maybe 2 blocks over, and he was just rolling over that drum, rolling over that drum, rolling over that drum. That's the biggest spirit uplift in terms of Junkanoo that I've had in years. I mean, in terms of just feeling Junkanoo.
Of the spirit.
Yeah,
the spirit
because
of the drum. The drum is talking to you.
Yeah, the thing is that for people like us, because we are first in and last out, we don't ever get to experience. But he's rushed. I don't rush.
Used to.
Yeah, he used to rush. I've never worn. I probably worn a costume maybe once in my existence in Junkanoo. And I mean, the group going east and I going west because I going home. The Junkanoo is just never, like for me, it's about the craft and the art and the camaraderie that we share with the fellas in the shock environment and so forth. But I know everybody does Junkanoo for different reasons. But Junkanoo seem to be losing that spirit. I mean, take for instance, we know Junkanoo going out, but yet still, the government decides to build a whole island in the middle of the street where Junkanoo is going to make that turn there off Shirley Street. Absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. You know, I hear people say, oh, well, we need a Junkanoo stadium, we need this, we need that. You know, that's all fine and good. And there's always, we could sit down and debate that, because you'll have people who say, you know, we can't move Junkanoo because of the historic nature of Junkanoo, what Junkanoo means to us in the sense of going back to culture between the African, the whites and the blacks, and it's a lot of different